Alrighty, guys, welcome back. We are watching episode 4 of ReZero. I don't know why this says season 2 down here. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, this is episode 4 of season 1. Don't worry, anyway, we're watching episode 4. Last time, hopefully, we finally, we made some progress, that's for sure. Subaru didn't die, at least, and he succeeded in what he wanted to do. He helped Amelia. We finally learned Amelia's name at that. And, yeah, I guess that's about it. And man, let's see what the future has in store, I suppose. This is my last discussion if you want to hear all my thoughts, I guess. Down in the description, there's a Patreon if you want the unedited reaction with the picture and everything, and the sound, all that. Otherwise, you can line up your own copy with this. There's the next episode on Patreon as well. But yeah, we will be starting in 3, 2, 1. He made it. Very fancy. Very fancy. Oh, yeah. He made it. Wow. I This night just goes on forever. What? Okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Still thinking of it like a video game almost. Maybe not a video game, but he's thinking of it like a generic isekai plot, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The same painting. Well, I guess. What is going on now? Okay. Hi. All right. You can't call people NPCs. All right. Yeah, I'm sure. Betty. What? What does that mean? Oh God. What? Is she gonna kill him? No? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Cool. Ah, yeah, all this stuff about mana. Okay. Proud noble being. Huh? All right. Sure. It's a rough start. That is a rough start. Huh. So we go from the slums to pretty fancy place, huh? And based off what Amelia said in the last episode, I'm guessing it's their house. It's really bad. I don't know if you can just call it a house though. Like a mansion. Hmm. Just reading the lyrics. In's how it started. Back here. Hmm. Ne-sama. A denizen of the night, huh? Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, thanks. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I'll have to talk about this, about his behavior towards other people. Totally gets it. All right. Hmm. Militon. True. He doesn't feel like that, really. Well, no, it is true that he really barely does know her. Hmm. That's, yeah, an unheard of technique in this universe, I'm sure. All right. He can get a job as a fitness instructor. Puck. Don't say that. Jesus. I guess that's true, yeah. Hmm. I'm thinking some stuff and I can't decide if I'm just overthinking it or not. I can read his mind. Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess he is a weird spirit thing. Yeah, kinda is, isn't he? Especially to them. His behavior. Roswaal. Whoa. What? Okay. All right, that was different. What is this voice? All right. Different. Very different. What? Being so mean. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's it. Yeah. All right. Well, he looks pretty unique. Hmm. Rim. Has to view it as some, man. Oh, okay. Some extra help. He really is, isn't he? Margrave Mathers. Mm-hmm. Well, people have been trying to assassinate Amelia or something, right? I mean, I guess they're trying to steal that thing from her. Currently without a king. An epidemic. It's going so fast, it's hard to keep up. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Maybe don't say that. Someone of higher what is her status exactly? Okay, yeah. Wow. Ah, okay. Hmm. Yeah, that is true. Well, same thing. Why do you even keep it with you? Why don't you just lock it in a safe or something? Yeah, it would be proof that there's no way you could do it? I love his voice. Ah, man. Hmm. We already know based off he's just gonna ask for something, that doesn't seem like a big reward, right? Hmm. Okay. Sure. Why not? Hmm. Hmm. Is that rose walls or what? What? I don't know. I don't. There has to be some joke there. What? What do the eyes have to do with the? All right. He's really found himself right in the middle of some very big political stuff. That's kind of what I was thinking with yeah, makes sense though. Please, actually, I agree. I know it doesn't. Don't say that. I what? Oh, okay. Interesting. What? Well, you put it right next to the last one, so yeah. Forbidden Library. Wow, he is really surrounded by powerful company. Hmm. Such a weird thing to say. Like, come on. I doubt it. Oh, it's so big. Yeah, there's gonna be endless work. What, he's still wearing the tracksuit? That is true, yeah. Man, he cannot catch a break. What does that mean? Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see him. Oh, does he actually know how? Impressive. Whoa, come on. Okay, why would you cut? What are you doing? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's great. I'm ready. I'm not like, what are you doing? There's this ridiculous giant mansion, and there's only this many people who live here, really? It's so big. Like, 5 days. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Yeah, he's involved in a political stuff that he does not understand. Hmm. Oh, gesture there was a little bit. Unless I'm looking too much into that. Hmm. Okay. What'd she call this? Talking to the lesser spirits? Oh, Hmm. Her attitude towards him is quite interesting. Well, oh, actually, it would be a very interesting response. Hmm. Maybe. Okay. Okay. True. Hmm. He wants the pain or the scars, even maybe. Mm-hmm. It's a good way to look at it. Yeah. Hmm. Man, what? Okay. Said T, like Tinchy, I'm guessing. I think that's what he said. What? Oh, true. Yeah, why not heal that one then? Revenge. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Their dynamic is interesting. I'll talk about it. I think, hmm. I'm gonna take the optimistic view of it in terms of the author's intentions, I suppose. All right. Someone who won't put up with him. Hmm. Hmm? Oh no. He's reset. And this is his new spot. What happened? What happened? How did he reset? Oh, his hands. Yeah, he doesn't have the. It's gone. What happened? Did he die? Or was it reset for some other? Is there like a time limit or something? I don't know. Um. Okay. Man, they keep hitting me with it. It's at the end of every episode. Just some. I mean, at least the last one and this one, just some crazy thing has happened. Well, all right. I'll talk about it in the discussion. Alrighty, let's go through the episode. So, I don't know. It's interesting. We're in a very different, feels like it's almost like a new arc, if we're talking about it and, yeah, sure. It's a new arc. Let's just call it that. Feels like a new Monogatari arc in a way. But I guess, Monogatari didn't invent the concept of arcs. That's kind of how stories work in general. So we'll call this a new arc as well. He has a new respawn point, maybe. Depends what even happened. But we'll talk about that. We will talk about that. So, it's very different, right? Because I feel like in the last three episodes, you know him being in the slums and all of that, the main setting being in the slums and the all that stuff I talked about how it seems like he relates to the people in the slums and almost views himself as one of them in a way. Well, now he's in a very different, in like the opposite position. He is now in a incredibly opulent mansion. So I don't know, very interesting. I don't really know what that's gonna say, if that's gonna say anything, but we'll see. We'll have to see. I don't really know if I noticed much in this episode that I could really say plays into that other than that surface level observation. Um, he meets the sisters, Rim, and I did they say her name? Because Rim just calls her sister Nesama. Um, if they did say her name, I feel like I missed it. Because yeah, she calls her sister Rim, but Rim just says Nesama. So I don't know. I'm curious. I guess I literally don't know if they said her name or not. If I missed it, I guess if they did. Um. Anyway, man, this episode felt like the peak of Subaru treating everyone and everything like NPCs, and that he's like in a video game, right? Like really, it plays that up so much. I think there's like almost everything he does, it is him acting like everyone's in a video game, or that he's in a video game, that he's like the protagonist, which is interesting. I was thinking about how like it would be very easy to be incredibly annoyed by that behavior, and I understand that. It's definitely like not a good thing to be doing, to be viewing everything as if they're NPCs in a video game. But at the same time, I do wonder if Subaru's behavior, because obviously he's playing it up a lot. Like he's acting in this very like man, I don't even know, brave and like noble way almost, the way he's been acting towards Amelia specifically. The way he asked for like a job in the mansion instead of asking for $1 million or something, just stuff like that, right? Um, it's like he's trying to play the part of like a video game protagonist, you know? And through doing that, it's almost like his behavior has been fine. Like, even though he is treating everyone and thinking of all of this like it's all NPCs in a video game, I feel like the actual result of him doing that, his behavior has been like fine, He hasn't been like oh, this is a video game, so nothing I do matters. He's treating everything like a video game. Um but it's like that's almost could be making his behavior better than it would be otherwise. The one who might be different is Amelia, right? But he still acts with Amelia in this very forward way. Um that I just can't help but feel is pretty unnatural. For like real life, right? I'm just imagining Subaru um not being in this world. It would be really hard for me to imagine that him, when he the kind of person I kind of think of Subaru maybe being, outside of the behavior we have seen when he's treating everything like it's a video game. I have a really hard time believing he would treat a girl he is clearly interested in like this, being this forward with her and all of that. Which makes me feel like his behavior towards her is partially still influenced by, the way he's viewing everything. That he's like viewing all of this as not really being real. And especially even more so talk about viewing things as not being real. Being in a time loop effectively is just going to make that even worse, right? I don't really think that's been affecting his mind that much. He wasn't thinking about return by death during this episode. So I don't really think it was influencing his behavior in this episode, but in the future I feel like that's something that absolutely will, you know. Um because yeah, I mean the psychology of being stuck in a time loop is makes everything really not feel real eventually. Like he's almost already treating a lot of things. And then here we're talking about Amelia a little bit. There's some stuff I wanted to say about the way she's acting with Subaru. And there's more of him, you know. Here, where is it? It's where, yeah, more of repaying people and all of this. I really don't know if I'm just crazy. No, there's no way. I mean, I swear to God, it's been every episode a character has said something like this at least once. It's been most episodes, it's been like a million times a character has said, oh, this other character did something for me. I have to repay them or something. So it's definitely like a major theme so far, is all of that, right? And the way Subaru reacts to it. How does Subaru react to it? Yet again, it's just, yeah, even Puck says that's all. He asks for something just like dumb, and that certainly doesn't seem like a proper compensation, maybe as he would put it. Like what he said at the end of the last episode, how he didn't receive proper compensation, or he said it was unequal compensation, I think, for what he did for Amelia. Even though I don't really think he was actually like bitter about that. I don't think he was looking for proper compensation. But in this case, this really isn't proper compensation, you could say. And again, I just feel like the way it's very unequal for him. How like the things he's doing for other people, he doesn't expect giant things in return, right? When someone says that they feel like they have to repay him, he just always responds with some dumb thing that isn't actually proper repayment. Like here, just to pet Puck's fur. With the mansion, just to be an employee at the mansion. I mean, that if anything, that would benefit Roswaal, wouldn't it? That's not really something for Subaru. I don't know. It depends what the job economy is looking like in Luginica. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe jobs are hard to come by. But it's always stuff that doesn't seem like something that someone would ask for if they really felt like what they did deserved some kind of compensation. Because it's obvious that Subaru doesn't do these things with being compensated in mind. Because for Amelia, he feels like he has this debt to her that he has to repay, and he feels like that's what he's doing. Even though, again, it's just interesting because he's formed this debt to her specifically in a way that it seems like he hasn't for other people, for other characters. Um, and you could say it's just because, oh, she's a cute girl and all that, but I feel like it more goes back to him relating to her in some specific way. More so about that line about him thinking about how he feels like she's gonna waste her life for you know, helping people, I suppose. But I almost feel like more specifically helping him. I think it just goes back to the thing I've said a million times about how, based off his behavior, I just have to feel like Subaru must have a very low view of his own self-worth, right? That would make sense why he feels like the things he does for other people, he doesn't deserve giant repayment for it. But whatever. I mean, I think I've reiterated that a million times. I don't just want to talk about the same thing again. And again, it's like his behavior, it's kind of the same thing. It's like his behavior, if a lot of his behavior in this episode is filtered through the fact that he's treating everything like it's a video game and he's the protagonist, um, that's kind of a bad way to be viewing the world. But that doesn't mean that his behavior is inherently bad because of that. Like it's not like he's acting bad in any way. I don't really think he does anything wrong in this whole episode, other than say weird things to the female characters. But what are you gonna do? I guess. I'll talk more about Amelia at the end. And man, Beatrice here does not not a fan of Subaru, I guess. But she's not a fan of Rosewall either, so only a fan of Puck. And yeah, so we get all this information about how Subaru is really stumbling into this whole political situation that he doesn't know anything about and doesn't understand. Which makes sense. That kind of, there was this giant conspiracy plot to steal this thing from Amelia and kill her, I guess. I mean, Elsa was certainly trying to kill her at the end there of the last episode, right? So obviously there's a lot more going on here than just some valuable pendant or something, you know. It means something, which we now know is like uh, Amelia's running for president. Like, so, yeah, a very, maybe the most important political thing ever that Subaru has stumbled into. Um, which is interesting. Uh, okay, that line, now that you know our secret, I can't let you leave alive. I would put a bookmark in that one. Keep that in mind. Um, anyway, oh, this whole thing about an epidemic striking the royal castle, that just, I don't know. That's sure is suspicious, isn't it? The king passes, an epidemic strikes, and then all of his children die. That seems a little bit suspicious, doesn't it? Seems like there might be more at play here. That epidemic is a little bit suspicious. Um, and yeah, they're trying to pick a new ruler. And it's interesting, you know. So Amelia's running for president, right? Um, which obviously, like Subaru saying there is like he's totally suspect here, saying like, "Oh, I appeared from another world at the same time." He's tying his own appearance and all of this into all of this important political stuff that's going on, right? He's still viewing it as if he has some, you know, deep protagonist purpose in this world, which is yet to be seen. Who knows, right? He has this weird power to be in a time loop, but who knows if he's actually here for some specific reason relating to anything to do with Amelia or anything, you know? Obviously, that's how he's viewing it, because he's thinking of this like an anime, like a video game, and that, you know, if you're thinking of it like, oh, this is the important plot stuff I'm learning about, so that means me, the main character, must be involved in it, you know? That's what he's thinking. And yeah, so she is running for the 42nd ruler of the Kingdom of Luginica, um, which is interesting, right? Because we know about the whole elf racism thing. Um, so I don't know. That's very curious about how that is working out for her. I guess we'll see, because that seems. I almost wonder if the whole elf racism thing has something to do with why there was this giant conspiracy to steal the insignia from her in the first place. But who knows? Who knows? What I want to know is why she doesn't just lock that thing in a safe. But who knows? It's a touchstone. um, and yeah, and he requests to work here. They make a bunch of fun of him. You know, him requesting to work here is the same thing I was saying. You know, I think I already covered that. You know, he has the explanation for it of saying that stuff about how it's just what he wants in the moment, all of that. But I don't know. I don't know if I fully buy that as the full explanation. Um, hmm. And he does a lot of hard work, which is interesting. He's good at sewing. I don't know what that means. There's something there, I'm sure. He's bad at cutting potatoes. He, you know, shows the fruits of his effort, which is nice. I don't know. I like that idea, I suppose. He's working hard, you know? It feels like what this feels like to me, all of this, him working here, him being so excited in general. He's just kind of a very excited person about everything, you know? It gives me the feeling of this being like a new lease on life for him, you know? Because again, I've mentioned it basically every episode about how he hasn't thought about his old life, his family that I assume he had, or any friends or anything. He hasn't thought about it a single time since getting here, you know? Um, so I don't know. To me, it just seems like his behavior and everything, it just gives me the idea that he's viewing this as like a new lease on life for him, you know? It really is. It's him getting to start over, you know? Um, of course, we haven't got any backstory about anything about him, so we don't really know. Um, I can't really say much more than that, I guess. That's just the vibe I get from it, you know? Hmm. I feel like that just explains a lot of his behavior, too, alongside the whole NPC video game thing that I'm sure he's going to work through. And we learn they are quite suspicious of Subaru, which makes sense because, you know, there's already been conspiracy to steal Amelia's insignia thing and also kill her, right? Elsa tried to kill her, so that does seem to be kind of the goal here. Um, I don't know, but and then, you know, so there's very important political stuff going on. There's these conspiracies against Amelia, and then this weird Subaru guy shows up and inserts himself in the middle of all of this for seemingly no reason, right? Um, it's not like he could give a reason for why if they asked, you know. Um, he's just I don't know. He just thinks this is the plot of the video game and this is where he is. And it's also just like he cares about Amelia and her success for uh reasons that are unclear in the first place, and even then, they're reasons that didn't even happen anymore. They happened in an alternate timeline. So, very, hmm, you know, Roswaal says, "What's the potential of him being a spy?" Does he say her name here? Am I crazy? If he did, no. Does he really not say her name here? What is her name? Am I crazy? I swear to God, they have not said her name. If they did, I missed it, and I'm sorry. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, what is this, like, this gesture of the hand on the neck thing? Like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, pretty, if he's too conspicuous, doesn't finish the sentence, just does that. So, I guess it's that serious. It makes me wonder if that's what happened to him at the end. Did he die? Because we'll talk about it when we get there. So he has this nice conversation with Amelia about, ask her out on a date, all of this. He acts just so forward with her and so, and it's like her reaction to it is very interesting in a way, because you could view this as like hmm, okay, you could view this as Amelia's behavior towards him is really weird. She's way too accepting of his strange behavior and is just incredibly nice to him, um, in a weird way that makes you feel like it could be a weird, like, just fantasy type situation where there's this perfect girl who is just in love with the main character, right? I think there is an explanation for why she acts like this, though, right? Because again, there's the whole elf racism thing going on, which obviously Subaru doesn't care about any of that. He treats her normally anyway. There's the fact that Amelia said at the end of the last episode that, like, she has one family member, right? So it seems like she feels pretty alone, this this whole mansion is frankly a very alone, lonely place, isn't it? It's so huge, it's so giant, and there's like six people here or something, right? um so yeah, I mean, this really would be a pretty lonely, uh just desolate place to be all day. um Especially, she considers herself to only have one family member, which I assume is Puck, right? I think that was pretty clear. um so it's like, it's interesting how all these other people around her don't rise to the level of being considered a family member, right? I'm assuming Puck isn't literally her family member, he's a spirit. So it just seems like she is generally a pretty lonely person. I assume a lot of that might have to do with the whole elf racism thing. So in that case, you know, having someone like Subaru who is this open with her and this forward about everything, um, it's I guess it makes sense why she would act like this. If she is similar to how I imagine Subaru is, because Subaru seems very alone as well. Um, and the only reason he acts this forward and open is because, well, we talked about it a bunch, but so I guess her behavior being so, I don't know, willing to deal with Subaru, because he does say stuff that's just strange to her. And she just kind of accepts it and just moves on. She's just so willing to, you know, be good friends with him when she really doesn't really know anything about him. I mean, obviously he's like saved her life and all of that. So, but still, I just think her behavior isn't what I would call, like, I think it's her behavior towards him is something that requires some form of explanation, I guess. And then I don't know. I wonder if you can really apply that to anything. True beauty is always beyond our reach. I don't know. Hmm. Trying to think what that could apply to in the story so far, but I don't know if I have anything. Yeah, and then this stuff about how he's unambitious, he certainly is. I guess that's a pretty good way to phrase it. If he has a low opinion of himself. And he gives this explanation about just wanting what he wants at the moment. But I don't know. I don't believe him that that's all there is to it. And this is the closest we get to him, you know. This is the closest we get, I feel like, to him almost thinking about something about himself before coming here, you know? But no, it's just he says he was in a new land, nervous and unsure of the future, but doesn't think anything about his life before. Hmm. And he cares about his effort so much. It's he's trying so hard. That's just how it seems to me that he's trying really hard. Um, hmm. Which is just it just makes me feel like for him he must be viewing this just as a yeah, it's just another try at life, I guess. We don't really know. We don't really know what his first life was like, but who knows? Must not have been very good. That's my prediction. Hmm. And yeah, just he acts very, and she just really reciprocates his forwardness in a way that I think is also just kind of unnatural almost. But I think there's an explanation for it. Just considering how lonely I think she is. Just how if her life, I mean, it depends how bad the elf racism thing is, but you know, you almost wonder if she's ever had a friend like this. Uh, you know, I don't know. I don't know. And then he's real excited for it's interesting that she thinks this. It makes me think she is also lonely. She's thinking of herself as not part of all of this. I don't know. Anyway, um, he's real excited for their date, and then he's back here. So the possibilities, right? What are the possibilities here? It's either that he died, which I guess considering Roswaal's whole, that thing, maybe they killed him. I guess, right? Which is just kind of an extreme reaction, but sure. Or this whole time loop thing has more to it, and there's like a time limit or something. Like he has to do something in this time. I don't know. I mean, it depends why he has this power and what it's for exactly. Um, I don't know. I guess I can't really say much more than that. It's either he was killed by Roswaal, I assume, or by Roswaal telling someone to kill him. It doesn't have to be Roswaal specifically. Or there's like a weird time limit system with this looping thing, because they said it was 5 days, right? Which is way longer than before, because it was always just one day he was looping before. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess we will see. I think I covered just about everything I wanted to talk about. So, all right. Well, that was a good episode. Yeah, leave a comment, tell me what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one.